Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living. Show you where I'm sitting. I'm sitting on the bridge that I built from trees that I dropped from wood that I scavenged. That runs down. There's Edward. Any of you old timers? There's Edward. Damn cat. Edward is 11 years old. He's my buddy. And then we're following the creek down. And I've always had plans of rocking up and mortaring up to make a little bit of a spillway so we could always do a water wheel. I've always thought about that, but I don't know. What do you think, Edward? He's ambiguous. I'm not quite sure. But what else happened? We are in recovery. It's what the government tells me and media tells me. And I don't quite know about that. And I've heard that the government is going to bail us out and bail you out. Bail me out and fix us. Oh, Lordy Jesus. Isn't that fantastic? Don't you believe it? What kind? Okay, guys, now we're back. And you are saying, well, what do you mean by that? Okay, guys, they'll send you $2,000. And we'll do the blah, blah, blah. But they're really not going to help you out. It was your money anyway. They were giving back to you. You know that. Even Edward. Edward says, hell yeah. What will you do to recover from this? What will you do to bail yourself out? Damn the bailout from the government. What will you do to bail yourself out? I was listening to a podcast from several people that were smarter than me today. TSP, the survival podcast. Jack Spirko with one of them. And Mind for Survival with Brian Duff is another one. And it just struck me that these guys are absolutely correct. What do you expect from them, the government? Because they're not really going to do what you want. You need to have a plan to take care of your people and your family and your children and your grandchildren and your parents and your grandparents. You need a plan to take care of all of your people and bring them out of this. Do not rely on the government. They are not reputable. More to come. Okay, guys, now we're back. So, again, why would you wait on the government to bail you out? You need to have some sort of exit strategy, something that will get you and your family over the hump, if you will. It may be, if you were like me and you're 51, if something should happen, well, you load up a riding mower and a push mower and a weed eater and you go cut grass. 3 yards a week, $50. That's $600 a month. That would go a long way to feeding your family or taking care of everything. Or repair electronics or something like that, catering to your skill set. But guys, there are some times that are coming that are not going to be favorable. We really need to plan. It may be that you have to have your kids move in with you, your adult children. If you have room, if you have not, maybe not. You know, it just depends. It depends on the curve of this virus and how everything is going and whether or not everything opens up, and then how businesses deal with what is happening. It may be that the adults may have to move into the children's houses. It's conceivable, absolutely. It happens a lot. It may be that you become a 3-generation household with grandparents, children, and grandchildren, and it's okay if that's what you got to do. It's all good, man. Maybe you need to do some sort of side hustle to bolster, again, like we were talking about with the cutting grass. I've cut cemeteries, I've cut post offices, and I had contracts year round, and they paid the bills and paid child support, and you know, kept everybody fat and happy to a degree. But please, for the love of God, do not sit and expect the government to fix it for us. They're not going to. We fix it for ourselves. That's why we're independent. That's why we are autonomous and yet related to everything else. We are separate. We're preppers. And we are in the limelight right now. But the thing is, we are kind of not really mainstream. The people that aren't really mainstream kind of get the business. Okay. Ask the Jews in the 1940s in Germany, or the Gypsies in 1941. They were not in the limelight, and they were pariahs. We don't let this happen because we've planned. And those of you who we know and we talk on and off, you know. This will be a new world and a new country for us. And none of us have ever experienced this before. Be careful, be cautious, be brave, and we will get through this. More to come. Okay guys, now we're back. I will leave you with a story that is not a funny story or a fun story. In the late 1930s, early 1940s, the Germans were rounding up Jews and Gypsies and people who were considered unfavorable, and this was the point when they were being loaded onto rail cars. And so the Germans would load as many people, men, women, children, husbands, wives, grandparents, grandchildren, onto rail cars, and they would stuff them in there, and then a German officer would come up and say, I want you to elect one person to represent your group. Find the strongest leader that you have, and that way you can request what you need. And so they did. And so for every rail car, they elected the strongest leader, be it a man or a woman, to represent them. And then after a while, the German officers came back and they said, all right, let's see who you picked and bring them out, and we will talk to them. And then they brought them out, And the German officers lined them all up and shot them. Yeah. And then they did it again. And they picked. And they did it again. This is not the time to go soft. Plan, prepare for your families, like we have always talked about, like we have always done. Take care of your people.